Welcome, welcome, and welcome to another amazing, fantabulous, spurtabulous, mertabulous, vertabulous, amazing SHIRO show with the boys on a pretty cold,
a lot of
fabulous on a nice cold Arizona evening.
And it's kind of cold here too, even for San Diego.
Yeah, it's been pretty chilly. I've been really happy that it's nice and cold.
I like we're here in this. It feels like taking it back to the beginning here. With
yeah,
this,
pretty much old set, just us two.
Old set. Yeah, how it all began.
We took it back to the beginning, except we got some tech upgrades. This is what it would look like if we had all the upgrades we do now and went back in time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people seem to be happy to see you back. You've been gone quite some time, so welcome back. Dan is unfortunately not feeling ill and was not able to make the show. So I hope he gets a full recovery. And apparently
Bunny's not feeling great either. They're both kind of down and out.
Yeah, no. So everyone send their love. Give like the heart symbol in the chat or whatever for them. Wish them a feel better soonish thing. So I hope they feel better soon. I like seeing them pudgy bunnies in the chat. I think Dan's probably watching too. We're getting a lot of hearts. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope that they're able to mend up.
Oh yeah,
quickly.
I need to fix. He's right. I need to fix your tag. You are not a guest host anymore. You've been upgraded.
Hey, I don't mind being a guest host every now and then.
There we go. Let's move that. There we go. Fixed it. Sorry.
Satan Dave.
Satan Dave, indeed. Very Satan.
No, but yeah, it's great to be back. It was nice actually to have a break. I've been doing a lot of non-video game related stuff. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully you can.
In the years.
Yeah. Reel in the years.
I've just been, I just been, doing like daddy duty and just I don't know, lots of parties, little birthday parties, like sports parties, because my kids their soccer seasons are over and they've had like numerous. I lose track because there's been so many, like going here, going there,
going everywhere.
Now we've got Friendsgiving coming up, and then we got Thanksgiving. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I'm doing a boyfriend and girlfriend giving for me and my girlfriend coming up on Saturday, because she's gonna, or not this Saturday. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, because she's going up to see her family. So
fun. You cooking the turkey?
Apparently yes. My mom's gonna force me to cook the turkey. We usually go to my uncle's aunt's house, whatever. It's like a weird thing. It's like, what's it called when your uncle is married and it's your aunt's aunt?
Your uncle's married, your aunt's aunt.
It's not on blood of aunt. Yeah, his in-laws. Yeah, we go to my uncle's in-laws' house, but unfortunately, they're going to California this year, so it's going to be just the immediate family. So it's going to be us. So
fun fact: there was a recent survey. There was like a recent dating survey or something like that, and it turns out that cooking is one of the more attractive hobbies that a guy can have. So you cook that turkey. I saw that too. Yeah, gaming is of course one of the least attractive. And I'm like, oh, well.
Gaming, figure collecting.
Good thing I'm not like out there looking for a partner.
No, it's been hard.
I'm pretty much set. But wait, your girlfriend's cool with gaming, right?
Yeah, she's really cool with gaming. She likes gaming, anime. I mean, I also cook a lot too, and she likes reading and stuff, and we like.
Actually, it's funny. The two least attractive hobbies were like figure collecting and gaming, and I was like, Dan really scored. Then he found like the right girl who likes gaming and figure collecting.
Yeah, honestly, I'd like to see the sources on those surveys, because you need to find a.
They probably went to like. Yeah, they probably went to like Venice Beach and were asking like a bunch of like. Shallow Barbies.
Random frat people.
I mean, like, yeah, who are they asking? That you need to get like a very well-rounded sample size, because if you go to like PRGE, you ask any of those girls, they're gonna be like, well, we're here at a retro gaming convention.
So no, you do with that as you will, but
it all comes down to like what circles you run in.
I'm running circles all the time.
Shouts to Tales of Saturn, who was first. and Captain Hodden, and Dragons of Saturn, Wiener Bob, Analog Black Sheep, Neil Henderson, Memphis, Brett Ryan, Lee Toast with the Most, David Zaney, Raiden, Pudgy's there, James, the Sega guys, and I don't know if Dan's there, but we got the Sega guys, Slow Coin, Double Dime, Cerulean, Papetsu, William Anderson, the Analog Gamer, Man of Stone. Who else?
I want to give a shout out. I want to shout out to Mompus real quick. I saw him in the chat. He was talking about cooking. He is a really great cook. He made some good ass breakfast. So shouts out. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
good. Thank you,
I need to
Mompus.
get better at cooking. I do need to get better at cooking. My wife wants me to get better at cooking.
It's not too bad. I had to do a lot of cooking when I grew up. So anyways, continue on. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Were you like super independent and had to like cook your own meals?
No, I pretty much had to help my mom cook all the time because my dad is always out. So
yeah,
getting emotional here, but I always cooked.
Okay, well, Scotty Mofo Show is here. Albert is here. AM25 and Starlight Abandoned Witch Gaming. Have I missed anybody? Victor Romero.
You got Sega guys too,
that's
right?
it. I think that's it for now. Yeah, Sega guys.
William Anderson.
Of course, so 40 folks in the chat. 40 thumbs up. 40
40
likes.
loves. 30 loves. Bringing it back to the old school days. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Reeling in the years.
So what have you? I have to say, rest in peace. I just want to give a small period of silence for Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto, because I finally just got
middle fingers out for Domo Arigato. Middle fingers out, people.
I finally got a new Vocaster. I don't know. It's the Scar. What did you tell me?
It's like a
Focusrite.
Yeah, it's like an audio interface thing.
It's an audio interface by Focusrite, which was the company you recommended, and this came highly recommended, but it's like specifically for podcasting. So it's like it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I was
I've heard that a lot.
But no, it's cool. It has just like a button right on the interface to mute myself, so I don't have to use the mouse or the computer or anything like that, or make any clicky sounds. They'll just like that, and there's like an enhancement feature on there to like add auto compression and stuff, so that's cool.
I can't wait till Dave accidentally he hits the button and forgets, and he's like, why can't you guys hear me? Like, oops.
Well, I wouldn't be able to hear my own monitoring either, so there's that. But it has like auto gain. You just press a button and start talking, and it like adjusts your gain automatically, and a bunch of other cool stuff, and it's like Thunderbolt or whatever, so hopefully latency won't be an issue.
You mean the USB-C?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's USB-C. I have it. I have it connected via a Thunderbolt port, though, like a USB-C. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Yeah,
if it's like a faster port.
It's weird. I never understood it too. I thought the Thunderbolt port was the Mac thing with it's like that ugly ass square connector. I hated that.
I'm sure everyone can hear the trash dude taking out the.
We can actually
dumpster. You can?
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Okay, great.
And it's on my end, so I know I can't hear it.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
Getting a lot of cool shirts, Pat. Thank you. This actually is from the Sega collection they just posted on online. That
is a rad shirt.
Yeah, they posted online, so I just am wearing that today. That's a really cool shirt.
And it matches your hat.
I know. I didn't realize that until I got it. I was like, wait, this matches my Bumblebee hat.
Awesome. That's like a perfect bee. That's a perfect pair. Right there.
Bee person. So yeah, no, I'm happy to get the shirt. Love Jet Set Radio. I think this might be a cast shirt, so I think I'm just gonna wear it for the casts and not wash it that much.
Nice.
I'll just take
don't wear it to bed either. I've noticed that like anytime I wear a shirt to bed, as much as I want to, like it totally frumps it up, and then it's like the collar gets all worn out and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like
if you want to keep your shirts good, don't wear them to bed and don't wash them often. Or when you do wash them, just wash them on like cold water and like light.
Well, I don't usually wash often anyway, so
yeah,
so it works out well.
But it's crazy, like people in Europe, especially like France, when we went visiting there, they have like these small laundromats and really small washing machines, and it's like they wear a couple outfits several times in a row, and then they'll wash it. I mean, obviously that doesn't apply to everybody in France, but it was something that I noticed is like they have like a few outfits that they wear multiple times in a row, and then they go to the laundromat and do small loads of laundry. Meanwhile, I'm like washing my entire wardrobe like every week because I go through everything
Pretty much
so often.
Yeah, no, same here. It's like I have so much underwear and so many socks. Like, oh dang, I go through this many, but it just adds up. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned like the amenities. Like when I went to Germany and I stayed in that little like hostel thing I was in, it felt so Eastern European. I was like, wow, like the tubs are all Eastern European, all the sinks and stuff. I was like, is this what it's like here? And I went to Momphis' house, like, oh, everything's normal here. Never mind. That place is just old as hell. Because like his house is really, really nice. Like all the amenities. Awesome. I was like, wait, this is modern amenities. Why was I was like, what's that called? I was gaslit into thinking Germany was like that, but it wasn't. He has a really nice, but he has a really nice house. So, double thank you to Momphis for hosting me again. Awesome person, awesome family. Everyone give a shout out to Momphis. He's awesome. Give him shouts out in chat.
Yeah, shouts Momphis. And somebody, who was it that commented? Somebody said, get ready for how the sausage is made. That's what this show.
He said hot.
Should change
how hot the sausage is.
Hot the sausage is made. But basically same thing. Same. Yeah.
No more TIs for us. Sausage is no more made. Dave's mic is fixed.
My mic is fixed. I got a new capture card as well for my for gaming. Hopefully I'll be able to implement that at some point soon.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. You know, it's funny. I had everything dialed in with the old setup, and it was working pretty well. But then all of a sudden, frames started dropping. I was doing like Sega Rally, that racing video, and some people were commenting like, "Why does it look like it keeps dropping down frame rate and then going back up?" And I looked at it. I was like, it was my capture card. For some reason, it was crapping out. Maybe it was getting too hot. I don't know. But it never had done that before. I kind of wonder if it was just Windows though. So I ended up completely reinstalling Windows, and I went with like a really bare bones install, like one of those deployment installs where it cuts out all the bullshit and just gives you like the bare bones. And hopefully that's working for now. I'm just gonna try not to add too much because that's usually when things start to go downhill.
That's when the fun happens.
Another reason why I was away for a while, because I didn't have anything up and ready. And I also got a new phone. I got a Google Pixel. After years of having that broken ass Samsung Galaxy Note 9 that I brought. Did you see that? Like I think I brought it to
it was like all cracked and stuff. I'm like, Dave,
all cracked.
Bruh.
Yeah. That was Father's Day. It was like we went out to dinner, and my daughter dropped my phone like on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day! But yeah, so I've been rocking a broken phone for the last 2 years. And
so what'd you upgrade to? Sorry, I think I missed it.
Just a Google Pixel, the Pixel Pro or whatever.
One of these days you'll come to the good side with the iPhone.
Hell no.
Wow, you're missing out, bro.
No, man. My Mac days are long gone. Like, it was so frustrating. I used to be like a total Mac nerd back in college, and had several like iBooks and PowerBooks and stuff like that. And I just kind of like lost interest because I feel like I could do so much more on a PC.
Well, I agree. I only use the Macs for my work stuff, but like, I mean, to be honest,
either.
Yeah, iPhone, I like it just because personal reasons. Like every other time I had an Android, it always died on me. The only time my iPhone died.
Really?
No, my iPhone didn't even die. The only reason I upgraded is I still use it as a life counter for Magic the Gathering. The only reason I upgraded is because I had no storage, but I fixed that now.
My last iPhone was a 4S, I think. It was an iPhone 4S, and then and that was a great phone, no doubt. Used that for years, and then I finally got a Note 4, which was an awesome phone. You could replace the battery. It had wireless charging, like way before wireless charging was even a really, it had like it was embedded in the back thing. That phone lasted me forever. And then the Note 9 was awesome. The Note 9 was such a great phone that even when I got the new Google Pixel, I was like missing things about my Note 9, and I was like, this phone, that was like one of the best phones ever made. It lasted me forever. I know it was like Linus's favorite phone as well, and then he finally dropped it in the pool. And I didn't just get it just because he liked it.
I
thought that was funny that, like he swore by that phone as well. But
I mean, sometimes that
Anyway.
works. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I said, I just use what works for me. The iPhones have always been loyal to me. It hasn't ever slowed down or been
Yeah.
sluggish unless it gets really hot. But the thing is, it's Arizona, so I would have that either way. Like that's the only time it's ever slowed down is when it's really hot outside, like Arizona, like 100, and it's in my car.
Oh yeah.
Like I've had times where it like shut down because it was way too hot outside. I was like
You
using
could
Google
get-
Maps.
Yeah, you could turn off the Wi-Fi. I know Kay was telling me if your phone gets really hot, you turn off the Wi-Fi. There's a couple of things that you can do to kind of help cool it down real quick. But typically speaking, it's like whenever I grab my wife's iPhone, she always gets like the latest iPhone. I pick that up and I'm trying to like play music on it or do like the stupidest simple thing. I'm just like, how do you use this? Like nothing is intuitive to me at all. Because with the Android, it's just like everything's so intuitive, and with Apple, it's like it's intuitive if you have been living in that walled garden. No offense to all. I realize I'm probably in the minority, so everybody thinks that I'm the stupid one, and maybe I am.
No,
but,
I'm seeing
yeah.
a lot of people not liking Mac. So
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, it was just like, you know, if you're deep into like the emulation stuff and burning games and I don't know, code. It's good for coding and stuff like that. It's like there's a lot you could do with Mac, but I mean, there was nothing I couldn't do with a PC that I could do with a Mac. You know, but there was a ton of stuff that I could do with a PC that I couldn't do with a Mac.
see,
Or
I
that
play
would
all
be-
sides. I have a Mac, I have
Yeah.
a PC, and I also have it's technically OpenBSD for my NAS hard drive, my NAS setup. So I'm rocking all three. I play all sides, baby.
Here.
Multi-utility is what I say.
Here. This is the only Mac that I currently own.
Dang, I keep forgetting how
It is
thick
a,
laptops were.
This is a
Here's my
chunky
Mac.
boy right here.
Here's my Mac right here. Look
This
how
is,
big it is compared to it.
Look at
Here, put yours
how,
on the side. I want to see how.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so this does have this has PCIe. So it does have a what do you like a compact flash hard drive, you know? So it's got solid state hard drive, but through PCIe, and it's also got a port for like a Wi-Fi card. But we're talking about like 802.11g at the
Like,
most. I think
you're only getting WPS on that. I have the
Oh,
same
yeah,
thing
yeah,
on my
yeah.
Wii. Like I actually,
Like,
when I
I-
set up my Wii, I have to set up a Wii router because I can't hook up to my current Wi-Fi in my house.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. You have to like set up a an unsecure connection and kind of hide it and hope that nobody finds it. But I mean, you know, check that out.
That's
It's
so cool.
nice. It's got the little clicky. The keyboard.
I can't
it's
hear
like-
it, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, you can't hear the keyboard?
Yeah, no, it mutes it out.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks. But anyway, yeah, it's a power book, old world ROM. So, but it's fun to go on like the Macintosh Garden and play like old games and stuff.
I mean, hey, that's the only best way to play Marathon on that thing.
I mean, if you guys didn't know already, I am a nerd. So,
I mean, you know what your show you're on, right, Dave?
I do.
We're both nerds
But yeah,
here.
no, I mean, I do like Macs. I don't think they're bad or anything like that. I just don't. I don't know. Like I don't have any. I just they're not the cult that they used to be. You know, they're not like the think different. And if anything, it's like most people use Macs. I feel like, and it's more rare to find somebody rocking like a gaming laptop or something.
Yeah, I guess to me, it's like all my life I've always been like hacking every single day for my job, and like a lot of my free time, it's like I like a device that's like, okay, it's simple, it just works.
Oh, I
Like-
love that little Panasonic notebook that you have, like super lightweight.
Oh yeah, that one, the Let's Note, I love that one.
Oh yeah, that one's it's like so light. It's like there are phones that are heavier than that thing, and you could take it on a trip, just throw it in your backpack. It weighs nothing. Walk around the convention floor, and like my gaming laptop weighs a ton. So if I'm putting that in my backpack, it hurts after a while. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately, they discontinued the Let's Note, which sucks. There's a lot of them that's on the market. It's like 2019 and 2020 that are still good, and I definitely recommend that people look on Yahoo Auctions and pick them up because like they are really solid. It looks old as hell and it looks like an old legacy thing, but it works. It like I know that Nick was using a Premiere on that thing. It was running fine, I emulate on
Right.
that. It's a great system just for emulation, just checking things, bringing it like on a trip if you want to check like things real quick. I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite laptops I've ever had.
Yeah, I think James sorry, not to completely change the subject, but I think
So good.
James from the Sega guys, he used to do like a blog about Mac or something like that. He used to be involved in writing about Macintosh or Apple computers and stuff like that. I know he was a big fan of Macs, and he said that the Apple he loved died with Steve Jobs, and I kind of feel the same way. You know, like they changed a lot. First, when they switched to Intel, which wasn't really a bad thing. I mean, they were a lot less power hungry, and they didn't get as hot. But
RIP
then,
if anybody that used PowerPC programs.
right.
RIP.
But I mean, also like, a bunch of other, just kind of the company changed a lot. And that's, that can't be avoided because Steve Jobs was such a driving force behind the identity of that company. And it's like without his leadership, you try to do the best you can to remember what you guys were about as a company, but it's like when the old leadership is gone, it's like you keep having to work really hard to like look back and say, what was it about us that made us special? What was it about us that made us unique?
Yeah, honestly though, I think the current CEO is doing a pretty fine job right now. Like I like all the stuff that's coming out. Like the iWatch is pretty neat. I don't have one myself. I'm not trying to pretend. I'm not like an Apple fanboy. I just have the iPhone. I actually don't have an Apple Watch or the headset or like the only reason I have a Mac even is because of work. So if I didn't have a Mac, if I didn't work there, I wouldn't have a Mac. So, I just love the phones.
Yeah, I think one of Steve Jobs, the things that he brought to the table was his unwillingness to compromise and his ability to say no at the drop of a hat. No, we're not going to do this. No, we're not going to release that. Versus, oh yeah, let's do everything. I mean, like it took him forever to release an iPod with video and then an iPhone. And like a lot of these things take time, and he would say no. More than he would say yes, and because he had a very like a laser focused vision for the company, and it's hard to maintain that once your leader dies, so
It happens.
but I think they try. I think they kind of try to like bottle his essence, or not literally, but like try to run the company based on what they remember, being the things that he led the company with. But anyway, I don't know how we turned into a Macintosh or Apple podcast, but
I think it's because we talked about you getting your new phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a Google Pixel, so it is. I'm not in love with it or anything like that. It's just I decided to go stock Android. That's why I moved away from Samsung. I don't know if it was a mistake though, because I actually really like that Note 9, and now this is definitely a little more bare bones. But hey, it works, so no complaints yet.
Exactly. As long as it's working. Like I'm not even a fanboy of phones. I just got what works. I suggest every time people are like, what phone do you want? It's like, well, honestly, I tell them like my opinion. Like I like the iPhone environment because it's always worked for me. I've always been a fan of everything on there. I mean, there's been dumb changes like the keyboard. The new changes to the keyboard's been kind of pissing me off. But like,
I mean, there's no doubt that it's more secure. I believe that's pretty much objectively true. Like,
I mean, they even fought in court. Like they fought in court for that stuff. So like, honestly, I think that's a good sign. Like that Mac is like, yeah, no, we're not helping you like decrypt this dude's phone, which I like a lot. Like I said, I'm a big security guy and I'm big into that stuff. So I think honestly, I think that out of seeing all the stuff, especially Microsoft and others like that, having Mac like be on that sideline for that gives me like a sense of security with that. And like I said, I mean, it is a lockdown device and it has more difficulty, but at the end of the day, it's all what you want. Do you want like something that's open that you can emulate easily and install your own programs and do stuff? I definitely recommend an Android, but if you want something that you think that's pretty secure, that you have a nice device that works for you all the time and you don't have to worry about a lot on it, I think an iPhone is pretty good. Just get a case on it because the decision to make glass backing is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But
yeah, same. Like I got a case and a screen protector.
Because I always run one. I don't mess around.
I thought that my last phone would be fine with the amount of bezel on the case, but yeah, like first time it was dropped. Of course, it was dropped on like a on like a table leg or something like that, so it like cracked the screen immediately, and I was like, okay, that did not go well. So so
Yeah.
now I'm getting screen protectors every time.
Yeah, I love off of that. My thing
What
say
else?
it's in a
What else have you
condom.
been up to? Any gaming?
Not real. I just finished Space Marine 2, but you probably should move it along because I actually have to go and like
Oh,
at
okay.
5 exactly. But
Let's
I'm not
talk
trying
about Saturn
to be on the
news.
news, but I didn't really have
Saturn
much
news.
anyways, to be honest. So
Well, we're getting close to the 30th anniversary here.
we are. We'll have to talk about that.
It's coming up.
It is. It is. I'm excited. I'm excited. We'll have to figure out some cool things we could do. So I'm just fixing this. Oh gosh, I made this thing huge. Second, trying to get it bounced over the. But anyways, yeah, we have a couple news. We don't have like a lot. We have quite a little bit to talk about. I don't want to do that. Okay, there we go. Let me go get the news up real quick. Sorry, still trying to bounce things out. It's weird. So we're going to start off with Peter's article. So his revisiting of Resident Evil. So for those of you that don't know, Resident Evil, Resident Evil. Of course, everyone knows Resident Evil. Peter wrote an article about Resident Evil about a year ago, or no, 5 years ago, in 2019,
Right.
and he played through it after a long time playing through as Jill Valentine. Like that was his first playthrough of the game, and
that was his first playthrough of the game. Yeah.
Oh, period. I thought it was like a revisit.
Period.
Oh, dang,
no.
yeah.
No, like that was the cool thing is if folks go back and listen to the early podcasts, Peter played through Myst for the first time and Resident Evil for the first time on the Saturn ever. And it was interesting. It was really interesting to hear his takes on it because he didn't have any preconceptions, just kind of went in blind. Those are good casts to listen to, and I guess this is kind of like a follow-up or like a revisiting.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. But essentially, he just replayed through it as Chris this time, and noticed a couple of different things. I mean, I really like the article because it really gives him more. I'll probably increase the font so we can see it. See, yeah, he he wanted to tackle Chris's story and just going through it, and he notices like the stuff that everyone does. Like he could take a couple more hits than Jill can. He has he doesn't have like all the tools. He has to rely on keys. So Chris is the harder difficulty to play through just because he doesn't start with a pistol. He needs to require keys to open up things to have the lockpick, and but he is in turn a little bit more tankier. And I think there's also some things that are more difficult. Like I know that that Rebecca's like thing where she has to make the potion is the time's a lot more tight. Than I remembered for Jill with Richard.
Yeah.
So I've actually gotten game overs before with Rebecca trying to get the serums made up for that. There's some more stuff he's been noticing through that. Yeah, playing Moonlight Sonata. It's really interesting reading through it just because it sees all the funny things he knows. Like, oh man, I can't believe like I have to do these keys and rely on this small inventory space. And of course he made he's joking. He pays her like with Rebecca. He's like, if he pays her a visit in the storage room box exclusive to the Saturn version, a sample of Marvin Gaye's sexual healing plays. Should Chris require Rebecca's services? So classic Peter humor as always.
As always.
But yeah,
I like. I have to say, I like the way, and I might be in the minority here, but I like the way that the Saturn renders Resident Evil. The way the characters are a little more beefy or blocky versus the PlayStation. I mean, here it's exaggerated off his close up, but yeah, like typically speaking, I like the way the Saturn looks for Resident Evil better than the PlayStation, and I wouldn't say that applies for most like games that originate on the PlayStation. Usually, I would take the PlayStation version over the Saturn, like Wipeout, for example. But Resident Evil is one of those fringe examples where I kind of prefer the Saturn version.
Yeah, and I do agree because like
looks more horror-esque. It looks more grittier and grungier.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Like I like it and one of the things I actually do not like in the PlayStation that I guess it kind of has has the feeling of PlayStation is the texture warping. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where it's like the textures like warp and change. It's
Yeah.
A really weird
The
effect that
affine texture warp, which
Yeah.
I think who was it? The dude who did Doom, Carmack hated that so much that he wouldn't allow that whole story about how he wouldn't allow them to do Doom on the what was it, on the VDP or whatever. Yeah, like they had to do it on I forget exactly what the details were, but he hated the texture swim or the texture warp so much that he forced them to do it on the CPU, like completely.
Yeah,
But
no,
so
that's pretty. That's yeah. I can see why he wanted to, but unfortunately, it cost quite a bit for that. But
you wouldn't get that.
Yeah,
You wouldn't get that on the Saturn with walls and stuff, but sometimes you'd get it in racing games as the tarmac, like the gravel or whatever, or the tarmac got closer to the camera. Sometimes it would like do this thing where it almost like falls off or looks like it's on a treadmill, you know? And it was just like the textures kind of warping as the closer they got to the camera.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really bother me as much on the Saturn that did PlayStation. I think PlayStation should use it aggressively, where it like became a problem. Like all the games I can remember that I played had them. Spyro had it. Siphon Filter had it a lot. Resident Evil had it. I think they fixed
Naughty
it a lot
Dog
too.
able to kind of avoid it?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember that much. I've never played that much Crash. I just remember on Spyro specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see someone in the chat mentioning it's Sega Retrop View. How you say that?
Sega Retrop View.
Retrop View. He said, fun fact: some Biohazard Japanese versions have a bug, and you'll be stuck in the computer section while you have to enter a code, and the game freezes. I got a refund in 1997 for that. That's interesting. Did you like get it in Japan, or did you have to like go to like a game store that you imported it for and do that? Kind of interesting. Office's Destruction Derby had terrible warping as far as I remember. That makes sense.
Destruction Derby. Yeah, yeah. So some Saturn games would have it. Are we talking about Destruction Derby on the PlayStation? I know some games too. Like it wouldn't just be warp; it would be almost like texture, like the tech. I don't know if this is considered warping, but you take games like Vagrant Story, you know, that look really great. Like they've got a lot of you know, effects going on and transparency, but the textures on the characters' faces would like crawl, or it was like texture crawl or something like that, you know, like as the character's 3D model moves, you know, the textures would like kind of like move to a different position, and it would look really interesting. Now it's like an aesthetic, you know, that some, I would say, like some artists try to go for, you know.
Yeah, they give the PlayStation effect. I know that Bloodborne remake uses a lot of texture warping to get that effect.
Yeah,
which is funny.
To kind of channel that vibe. Like that's what we. Now it's just like it was a technical limitation, but now it's like an aesthetic, you know.
No, exactly.
What's next? So yeah, shouts to Peter for revisiting Resident Evil and playing through. That's more than I can say. I haven't beaten Resident Evil on the Saturn as Chris.
It's a lot of fun.
As Jill.
I actually think the first time I beat it was with Chris, and then I tried Jill, and
was with Chris.
For some reason, it was harder for me with Jill. Maybe I played it wrong, but honestly, I should really replay it because I play mostly the remake when I want to go to it. Maybe I should, sit down and do the Saturn version.
Didn't Game Master Chaz do like a playthrough Resident Evil with Chris on her channel?
Yeah,
like
he did that, and he can speedrun it so fast, like god dang.
And he did all the voices, like he did all these little commentary bits. You guys should check it out.
It's really funny. I think that was
before he got. If you can stomach like he was doing it like just pointing his camera at his TV, but it's still good for a laugh, And I think you were on there with him back when you were streaming with him and Claire. Yeah, it was fun.
Definitely good times. Should probably have him on again. I see him stream on his own thing. We should have him back on.
I'm sure if you just hit him up, said, "Hey, you want to do something?" He'd do it.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll see, and hopefully people will be down for that. Sega guys with his Dragon Force,
huge Dragon Force, Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Resident Evil fan that I know of. He also is big into Battle Garaga.
Battle Garaga is a big fan of that.
Battle Garaga, yeah.
Definitely check out his channel. He streams on Twitch. It's like Game Master Chaz.
Yeah.
If anybody can, Game Master Chaz. Yeah. If you guys can, Just give me a link to him. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool dude. I like him.
Yeah, so Sega Guy says his Dragon Force tutorial was excellent, and he's not kidding. It was the reason why. It was literally the reason why I fell in love with that game. Because like before that, I didn't get it. I was part of the folks who like just didn't get that game and was like, wait a second, there's so much like attending court, you know, and doing like all of these meetings and stuff like that, and navigating the game through menus, and I was just like, this is kind of boring. And then you're on an overworld map, and that's kind of boring too, or at least it looks like it in screenshots and stuff. I'm like, why do people like this game so much? And then I watched that thing with Chaz, and it kind of got me over the learning curve, and the rest is just like, you know, the game is just like skyrockets up to like the top of my best of lists, you know, because of that. So highly recommend that tutorial and just playing Dragon Force.
Yeah, I don't think there's a tutorial for Dragon Force 2. That one's it's kind of more of a what's that game called I'm thinking of? It's more of a ogre battle type game.
Ogre battle, yeah.
Which
yeah,
I
there
think
are some differences. It's a little darker. The story's not as good. It's just overall, I would definitely say that Dragon Force 1 is the better game. But I mean, you have a translation, you know, for Dragon Force 2, so folks can check that out too. Rally.
Yeah, talking about our latest Best of Saturn, our golden one actually, Sega Rally Championship. Sega Rally Championship. Apparently someone was mentioning that this was an oval. I don't know. I think it looks fine. But anyways, so this is frequent among the greatest titles on the Saturn, one of the launch titles, right? For the US, I think.
Sega
Was
Sega Rally Championship? No,
yeah,
Daytona was a launch title, but Sega Rally came you know, well, I mean, with Nick, what number was it? It came later. You know, it came like 96.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a bundle or something like that, maybe.
I mean, Nick's in the chat. He can correct us all. I feel like it was
he said not
late
launch
95
title.
or early 96. Yeah.
Yeah, but
sorry, Nick. I did watch your documentary several times, but I can't remember that detail.
Yeah, because I always thought it came in that pack with the big 3-pack. Like it was like Virtua Racing, Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was Daytona. Virtua Racing, Virtua Fighter, Daytona. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry.
Right, and then Sega Rally. You know, there were the Netlink packs that had Sega Rally. So it was like a Virtual On and Sega Rally for the Netlink packs. 1995. Yes. Oh, duh. It says it right on the. Yeah. So 33rd North America. Oh, 33rd release, November 18th, 1995. So.
And we definitely talk a lot about this for sure. I mean, but the basics, it came out on the Model 2 arcade board and was eventually ported by the original AM3. It came out with the AM3 team. I can't remember who ported it though.
Wait,
is
this a Best of Saturn article? What is this article? Oh,
it's a Best of Saturn Golden.
This is Best of Saturn. Okay, so quite literally, this is hashtag Best of Saturn couldn't be more true in this case. Usually it's like every article that Peter writes is hashtag Best of Saturn, and some of it is like Johnny Bazooka Tone, you know, but literally like Sega Rally is the Best of Saturn when it comes to racing.
Honestly,
games.
I'd agree. It is the Best of Saturn. Yeah. I love Sega Rally. It's honestly, I like it more than Daytona.
Yeah. It is better than Daytona. I like Daytona better only for nostalgia and like for personal reasons, you know, because it kind of got me into the console. But yeah, you're right. Like Sega Rally, it doesn't get better than Sega Rally. It's the most refined racing game on the console, and there are a lot of great racing games on Saturn, but none of them have had as much, you know, blood, sweat, and tears and just finesse put into them. And like Nick said, it's like they mess around with that D-pad tuning for the entirety of its development, just all the way up until the end, trying to get it perfect. And what we got in the US was 98% complete, and they rushed it out for Christmas. So I recommend everybody play the Japanese version for sure, or like the Netlink. You can play the Netlink
Japanese version is the GOAT version.
Yeah,
because it supports
they just kept tweaking it, and it's like there is no other racing game that has a better D-pad response than Sega Rally, to the point where you arguably don't even need the 3D control pad. Like some folks might prefer it. I don't because it feels really oversensitive, and there's like a big dead zone thing with that. But yeah, no, I don't prefer the wheel or the 3D control pad because the D-pad is just all you need, really. But yeah, no, I think we all gush about this game so much. People probably think we're just like fanboying on Sega Rally, but I mean, what can I say? Like,
it's just really good.
it's yeah, it's like it's pick up and play. You can enjoy it on so many different levels. You know, you can just work to try to finish the game. Some folks, or work against yourself and try to beat your own times, and it's just so rewarding when you're able to shave off a couple milliseconds of your time. So yeah, like I think we're all kind of Sega Rally fans here, and you didn't used to be, but when we did the challenge, right? Or we had like a challenge, and you started playing it, and you were like, yeah, I get it, it's great.
Yeah, no, I watched it because of Nick's video, and I was like, oh, this is. I was like, I watched it, like he was like, it's oh dang, this actually looks kind of fun. And, like I played it, I was like, oh my god, this is really good.
Yeah. It's one of the best things about Nick's video is it got a lot of people to play Sega Rally.
Yeah, because I never really got it at first because I played it and people would laugh at me. But now it's like, okay, I get how this works now.
Right.
I still suck at it. Like I'm not able to get past third, but I still have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it really helps to. What's really fun about it too is, and you don't have to do this, but you can really use the other cars on the course and like bump, kind of like slide into them and then like bounce off, kind of like a pinball in the opposite direction. There's a lot of physics going on in there, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, no, it's such a good game, and it's amazing how like the whole thing takes 5 minutes. Like really, you could sit down and play it in 5 minutes, and have fun, or you can grind away at it for hours. I've done both.
It's definitely a great pick up and go game.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, man, and Daytona USA, it's like almost perfect. If only the frame rate was a little bit better, like Sega Rally, because Sega Rally definitely has a better frame rate than Daytona USA, and you notice the most on like those later, the Dinosaur Canyon and the Seaside Galaxy. You notice it on those courses where it gets really choppy, and you just kind of wish that. And again, then CCE is great, has a better frame rate, but it's just not the same game. It controls completely differently.
It uses the Sega. It like uses the Sega Rally feel of it.
So it's like, yeah, it's just like playing a different game. I don't need to talk about that anymore. I don't. Dan loves it, and I think that's great. but yeah, so Sega Rally's awesome. Go play it if you haven't.
Mountain's fun. I like the hairpin turn on mountain.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the hairpin turn on mountain is like chef's kiss.
Yeah, and then you just go around it and you just cruise in third down that thing. It's really fun.
Yeah, I used to, that there are points where I used to slam into the walls like early on, and then it just something clicks like after you spend enough time with it. I think that's the thing is any game you spend enough time with it clicks. But arguably Sega Rally is one of those games where you really can just like pick it up and play and have fun with it. Even if you're not ever planning to get super serious with it. What's up next?
Next article is a cheat code article, another cheat code under the microscope by Bo Bales of
Offworld Interceptor.
Offworld Interceptor
Extreme. I have the 3DO version of this game and the Saturn version actually. So and he mentioned.
So you have the bad version and the good version of it, aka
and the good. Well, they're both bad to me.
Okay, the less bad version.
Game. It's not a great game. It's pretty repetitive. Yeah, and it's like one of those. It has a certain charm to it because it definitely does use like the mix of 3D and 2D graphics together. So it kind of does have that like 1993, 94 look to it.
Kind of reminds me of
so what do we got for
the Project Scavenger game? I forgot the name of it.
Really? Does it remind you of Amok?
Amok a little bit, yeah.
Amok looks so much better though. Amok it runs better, it looks better. This reminds me of another game that they did, which was the Titan Wars or Solar Eclipse, I guess. Same company, same look, same vibe. But go ahead. What do we got for codes if folks are interested?
So for this article, they are There are a couple codes. So in addition, he found some cheat codes for off-world interceptor that's been hidden for 29 years. And the codes also work on 3D versions. And some of them work on the PlayStation port as well. So if you want to play the good version, or the less bad version, you get all the cheat codes. If you want to play the more badder version, you get all of them as well. And if you want to play the worst version, you get some of them. So you get the worst of all worlds on the PlayStation, as always.
Solar Eclipse is better because spaceships, Dan says. You know, fun fact, I think John Linneman is it's in the works. I don't know when this will come to light, but I think he's working on like a comparison between like the solar eclipse and this one, Off-World Interceptor. I may be speaking for him, but we've talked about it in the past, and I know he's been looking at like the 3 games side by side, comparing them. So I don't know if a video is ever coming, but
yeah. So we had a couple codes for that. So he used the memory examining tool Gidra, which allows him to look through that, and here are the codes which are entered at the title screen. So you got stuff for level select, acid mode, hitboxes, unlimited time, max money, credits, invincibility, power up and weapons, and switch camera modes. And I'm not gonna go and read every single one of these, but he's like a nice little chart here that shows all of them for each ones they have. PlayStation obviously having the least amount, and Saturn, and there are different codes. It looks like in different versions of it.
Is Bo watching with us, by the way? I don't recall seeing him in the chat, but he's usually here. But I gotta say, man, Bo ought to get together with like Private Eye and like Cafe Alpha and add some of these cheats to the pseudo Saturn software, you know, because like it has like the cheats, you know. I mean, like Code Twink or whatever that site is, cheats database or whatever. Like Bo's he's discovering all these new cheats, and I know a lot of those old cheats were embedded in the action replays, you know, and a lot of those old cheats have made it onto like the pseudo Saturn stuff. But I mean, Bo's uncovered so many cool cheats. It would be great if there were hex value or like, you know, Game Shark equivalents to these, so that I mean, I'm sure, right? Like he could figure out how to translate the button combination to like what actual code it changes, and then like turn it into a code that could be added to that repository of cheats. That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, because it's funny because he was mentioning on here that he found a load of cheat codes for Solar Eclipse, but he only found one for Off-World Interceptor. But it turns out that he found a lot more than just one.
Yeah, a lot more than that. Yeah.
And they have some varying effects.
Yeah, the 2 games are they share a lot of the same DNA, so I'm not surprised. But that's cool. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, but you have a level select option and acid mode, which looks pretty cool.
It's just green.
It's like a night vision mode or something like that.
I gotcha. Acid mode.
I wonder if you called it that, or that's what it's called.
Yeah. Show hitboxes. That's cool.
Beats beats Street Fighter to the punch. Time.
Purge overkill. Maximum money. Credits.
Money.
This is like, I don't know if there's any younger viewers in here or if we're all old enough to remember, but like, yeah, I don't know about you, Pat, but would you ever go to like the grocery store and go to the magazine section just to read game cheats in the back of the magazines and then go home and try them out?
Actually, I was never a big cheat guy, to be honest.
You're never a big cheat guy? Oh, like my little brother and I, like just for fun, you know, because we wanted to like, you know, we'd have these games and we just like wanted to experience every side of it. And so like when we were at the grocery store, and I don't know why it was the grocery store, but that's typically where they had like magazine racks. And
that's where I got my stuff too.
Look at like a Game Pro or Game Fan, go to the back of them and just kind of like write down. We'd have a piece of paper that we brought with us, and we'd like, okay, in Myst you can just beat the game in 1 minute.
But did you find cheat codes for Pissed?
Yeah, or there's a little making of movie in it, or you know, whatever the tips and tricks were, you know. But we wouldn't have enough to actually like buy the magazine, so we would be just writing down the codes on a piece of paper and then take it home.
You know, I never looked at that, but I did that for price guides for Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards. I did that back in the day, or I just get the magazine.
Once the internet hit, the internet hit, it was all, and that's how old I is that it's like, you know, the internet became affordable and available in like 96, 97. to the point where you didn't have to do that anymore. You just look it up on a website.
Cheat Code Central. That's what I did.
Yeah, Cheat Code Central. Yeah,
Cheat Code Central, game winners. I think honestly, I think I still have them bookmarked because I have bookmarks all the way back from the 2000s. I think I have those 2 sites bookmarked still.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty funny.
Tips and Tricks was his mag. What else?
But yeah, there's a lot of really cool codes.
Did all that, so yeah, that's awesome. I love that Bo's doing this. Oh, see, yeah. So there's, yeah, I have no doubt that there's probably a way to like turn these into like Game Shark codes or Game Genie code, whatever, you know, the kind of codes that you'd be able to enter into Pseudo Saturn or whatever and make this stuff work.
Apparently there's a ton more for 3DO too.
The great thing about Pseudo Saturn, you know, is you go in there and you can turn on certain cheats and then start the game up with it, you know. And I'm like you, I don't typically like cheats, but I've ground this axe before, and I've told you, like, as I get older and I have less time, I find that like experience multipliers kind of help me get through certain longer games a little bit faster and enjoy it. Or just if you want to limit like random encounters, like some games are so annoying with how slow they load that like random encounters become just grating on if you're able to like reduce random encounters, that kind of makes certain games more enjoyable. So it all depends. You know, sometimes you can use games to just slightly modify, sometimes you can use cheats to just slightly modify a game enough to make it a little more bearable rather than just like making yourself invincible. That said, there's a cool anime if anybody wants to. There's a cool isekai called it's like I was resurrected, or I was reincarnated with unlimited power or something like that. It's about this dude who he just gets summoned to this other world, and he has like basically like cheat mode turned on. And so like
Dave's on that isekai train.
It's just a matter overpowered.
Just a matter of time before he watches Do You Love Your Mother and her multi-lock-on target attack. Just a matter of time.
I can't, you know, like it's gotta check certain boxes for me. I can't just like watch any isekai.
That one definitely checks some boxes for me, is all I'm saying.
Is it that kind?
It's definitely that kind. It's definitely that kind.
You watch that with your girlfriend?
No. That's a separate one.
Okay.
I'll introduce her later. She'll watch with us. But no, honestly, I've only been watching I finished Baki though. I'm watching Keigi and Ashura now. That one's pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Definitely recommend those if you're fighting ones.
I'm still watching Danmachi and what was it, RE0 as they release new episodes every week, and Ghost, MF Ghost, which is kind of a snooze fest. It's got, you do every time I mention it, you say I need to get caught up with that.
I've been behind.
It's like, it's just it's not as good as Initial D, so everybody going into that needs to like just know that right out the bat. It's just more
of a sterile racer.
It's very sterile. Yeah, it is sterile. I mean, it's all during the day. It's not during the night. You don't have like the crowds on the sides of the roads. It's not kids. It's adults. It's just a little bit more sterile and boring. There are some good parts of it, but I'm almost considering just letting it go because it's just like, you know, it's too much. I hate it when the character is too overpowered. Like that's the one thing I loved about that Mushoku Tensei. Like there's such a long struggle. There's such a hard struggle to get anywhere, and he wasn't just like he was powerful, but it wasn't like overpowered. There was a lot of adversity, you know, and a really satisfying character arc, you know. So, but the one that I mentioned to you where he like has cheat codes turned on or whatever, that one's just funny. Okay, it's just he's OP. Yes, he is OP, but they kind of do a different like play on it. And
oh no, you're saying everyone in Baki is OP.
Everyone in Baki is OP.
They are. Like there's some nuts fights. Like there's literally my two. I'll say without spoiling, my two favorite fights, or the arc where it's like they resurrect a caveman from millions of years ago beat the ever living hell out of people. And then there's this one thing where all 5 criminals break out of prison and want to fight Baki so they can taste the taste of defeat. They want to know the taste of defeat, and it's sick. Like those arcs are so sick. But yeah,
That's cool.
I mean that's I guess that's what's fun is that you can have it OP, but I think they level it to that, right?
I've been considering. I'm kind of been considering watching Hunter x Hunter and listening to your podcast along with it.
You should. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I've been it's been recommended to me, like not just by you recently, and I'm like, okay, Hunter x Hunter. Well, like people are saying it's good, and I have a friend who does a podcast about it, so I could probably just. Did you guys start from like episode 1?
Yeah, the things that we did Yu Hakusho before that. So we have a season. It's season 2. As soon as you watch season 2 is Hunter x Hunter.
Ah, okay, got it. It's not a de facto Hunter x Hunter podcast. It's just
it's one like segment of it.
2.
Yes,
I got you. Oh,
it's season 2 of our show. We kind of went on a hiatus right now because we're all going through life stuff right now, so we're trying to figure out what we want to do with it. Mm-hmm. I'd like to get back to it. We still have episodes. We haven't finished the show yet. We have like a couple more episodes left, so hopefully we can edit those out and release them.
Yeah, that'd be great. I did listen to a couple of them. I listened to a couple of your episodes. Didn't really have any context. I was just listening for fun. You kind of hear you talk about it, and I was like, oh yeah, this sounds really interesting. So yeah, maybe that'll be the next thing I start watching. I don't know.
Recommend that or Baki. Baki is
I don't know how we got onto that from 3DO.
But anyways,
and Off-World Interceptor. But shouts to Bo for all the awesome cheats. Oh, we were talking about cheats. That's right. We were talking about cheats. So yeah.
Just really quickly, I also want to mention that there's a cool terminal inside of the 3DO version of the 3DO version of the game.
Oh, let's see.
Have these like cool commands you can enter.
Oh, okay.
That's the last thing I want to mention on that. Yeah, thank you both for showing us that. I'll see if I can find time to enter those codes and mess around with them. I always love finding codes that never existed and put them online. It's like archiving it. He's doing a great job.
James did a video about the Saroo and the setup, and then like a comparison of load times versus the Fenrir. No surprise that it loads a lot faster than Fenrir. Fenrir was already kind of like on the slow side. And that's not a diss or anything like that. It literally is tied to like the CD-ROM speed. And I think even the Satiator loads faster than the Fenrir. And I only know that because like anytime I play someone online on Netlink, and they have a Fenrir and I have a Satiator, we both reboot and I'm like up and running, and I'm still waiting for them to get to the quick link or whatever. But Saroo loads like lightning fast. Like it's as fast as it gets for Saturn.
And it's great for retail games. I think the only issue that I've been running into it with is the homebrew, and then the fan translations. I've been having a lot of issues with it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's
I agree.
That's a me issue.
I agree that it's like, so like a lot of what we do is trying to get people to play Sega Saturn, right? And it's like I can't hate against a device that democratizes that and makes it cheap for folks who may not have any experience with a Sega Saturn but want to get into it without completely blowing their wallet. I think the Saroo is a great product. I think that it's obviously it's not a finished product. It definitely feels like a public beta. It's getting better, and I love the fact that the original creator supports it actively, so that's always good. And of course, it wasn't his decision to release it when it got it just kind of, it was one of those things where the hand was forced, and now he's dealing with the hand he was dealt and trying to make sure that the firmware stays up to date and people's carts aren't bricking and stuff. But the product itself can be inconsistent. And it's funny, like lately people have been asking me, like DMing me and saying like, oh, which Saroo should I get again? And I'm like having a hard time recommend, because even the original one that we got, Pat, like isn't always available, and it's like there's one that's coming that we both know about, and it hasn't come yet, but it's like the one that I would like to recommend everybody get when it finally comes.
Yeah, we're excited to play. Yeah, we can't talk about.
I can't really say much more than that, all I can say is it's like if you've slept on it or waited on it up to now, you might want to just wait a little bit longer. But then again, I said that like a month or two ago, so I don't know how long it's gonna be.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like I said, you're buying at your own risk. Like I mean, like I imagine you get one, even if it's the one with the recycled chips, it'll be fine. But you just have to keep in mind that it's not going to be. It might have issues or run to issues here and there. But if you're willing to take the risk, I think it's worth it, because if you just want to play like straight up, just want to play like retail games, and it's all supported on that, so you can just launch up and play the ones you need.
Yeah. So James, the one that James and Dan got did have new chips and beveled edges. So, and he shows it right there in his video and in the article. So, go with that. There's a good recommendation right there, because at least that they got it and they were able to confirm that. And yeah, no, I mean, so it's great. That's the thing, is it's a really good kind of like end user. It's a really good like casual Saturn fan device, I would say, and it also has excellent loading times and has per game save. It works a little different than like normal per game save, but hey, it still works. And you can decorate your background and have believe have music and stuff like that. So I want to ask you, Pat, though, you've had a you've had a Saroo for a while. Do you daily drive it at all? Do you use it? Has it seen any use?
I use it quite a bit daily driving it. I mostly went back to my satiator though, because of course with the issues with the fan translations, it's kind of harder to use for me. It's good for cons and stuff though. I like it for cons. I can bring it to cons and load games up.
Yeah, we had a couple Saroos at the PRGE, right?
We had a couple Saroos. I bring it to Germany. That ran pretty well as well.
Yeah.
So we field tested. We're bringing it all around the world. Literally, we did international tests on it. We brought to different countries.
So you've owned a Phoebe.
Yep.
You've owned a satiator, a Fenrir. You had the 21. You had the old Fenrir and the new one, the new Duo, right?
Just the new Duo.
I have one too. We have the Saroo. You've tried all these devices. So
and the mode. Don't forget the mode.
And the mode. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. I have mine in my Dreamcast, but it worked great for Saturn. Although same thing, I would say the same thing. There was some weirdness with the game competition. With some of those homebrews.
Yeah.
Were not wanting to behave on the mode. But then other things are kind of nice on the mode. Like there's a lot of creature comforts on the mode as well. It has a very slick presentation, I will say that. And I know Derek A-Team is like a huge fan of the mode.
Yeah, the mode is really great on Dreamcast. I'm curious,
like, what's your favorite? Like, how would you rank them?
If I had to rank it from the most compatible with no issues, like if we're grading it by like no issues, like plug and play, could play almost anything. So in terms of playability, because my list of playability and convenience is all different, but if I had to rank them from like with all those in mind, so the top one would be the satiator, because everything pretty much loaded on it, and if any issues arose, the devs worked with them to get that sorted. Second one, the Rhea and Phoebe. Rhea and Phoebe, literally, it's funny. I used it for the competition for the first year. I had no issues for the majority of the stuff that everyone was having issues with.
Right.
So that was easy.
That's Rhea and Phoebe have been pretty rock solid. They're kind of crude in the implement. I mean, how was the installation of Rhea and Phoebe?
I did it almost like 7 years ago. So it's been a bit.
It wasn't a difficult process. Right?
I didn't remember it pissing me off, so I guess that's a good sign.
So it's like with those, it just came down to availability. That was the big Achilles heel with the Rhea and Phoebe, was just availability.
And I got lucky because Kay hooked me up. So
right. Fenrir, of course, is the most available, I would say, or it has been the most available and cheapest, for like a long time, and I would say that's the one that probably a lot of folks would just kind of gravitate towards.
Yeah, but the Fenrir is definitely third for me.
Yeah, when the Fenrir first came out, there were issues that had to be ironed out, but I mean, like, it's come so far, especially like the Fenrir Duo is amazing. Yeah, it's come a really long way. Satiator, again, James says he doesn't think it's worth the asking price, and I think that I can relate to you. So here's where I think it's like, you look at some of these capture cards, right? Or you look at some of the like Blackmagic camera equipment, right? If you're just like a YouTuber doing everything on a budget, you probably are going to go with Logitech or something cheap, something on Amazon, right? But if you are a content creator or you're making movies or film or something like you don't even bat an eye at some of the prices on some like capture equipment or cameras, mirrorless cameras and stuff like that. It's just like, so for us, for our uses, Satiator was worth every penny.
Yeah, mostly also
I
because of the
got
fact that we could
and
use it for cons and stuff as well.
I've never ever regretted plunking down that amount of money for the Satiator. But then again, it's been a Swiss Army knife for everything that we've needed to do with it, and we're doing like a lot of content. Oh, Satiator devs Satiator devs are working on an update to fix the crackling sound. I've not even had crackling sound, to be honest.
I haven't run into it either.
I have. That might depend on the hardware, of course, because there are so many Saturn hardware revisions.
Wait, I think I actually did run into that. I was noticing that when I was playing the fan translation, I was wondering what that crackling was. I think that's what it was. Right? I thought it was my audio cable. I think that was the Satiator. That's nuts.
On what game?
I played a couple games. I played the fan translation of Tokimeki, and I noticed some crackling. I thought it was my cabling, but I guess it was the Satiator.
Well, every single device has had some kind of issue, and Satiator hasn't been free of issues. But it does have a really good Discord forum where you can like bring up stuff, and he'll usually, at least acknowledge you and be like, okay, yeah, that's something I'm working on. It's been worth every penny, but again, we're content creators, and I think, and we're also running like conventions and stuff like that, so it's been perfect for what we've needed it to be. But I do agree with James that for the average Joe gamer, it's too much, and so that's where the Saroo looks really compelling, because it's so much cheaper, and yet it's not really, it's almost just as good. I mean, I know how the homebrew devs feel about it, and I kind of agree. Like, folks should not have to target that device for their homebrew. They should target the Saturn. That's what you're programming for. So, really, a device that treats the Saturn, that doesn't try to like emulate a CD drive, but basically just passes the data on to the CD bus, is going to obviously make it so that homebrew devs can program for the Saturn and not really have to like do any weird. Make any weird accommodations, for this device. But again, for folks who just want to play the commercial library for cheap, you can't do better than the Saroo, really. And you set it in that slot and forget it. Now, if you do end up wanting to do the Netlink stuff, obviously you're not going to be able to. But then again, the folks that are doing that, we're crazy, right?
We're fanatics. That's another level.
Right. Like we've kind of gone down the rabbit hole, and we're doing stuff with this that most folks who are just like picking one up at PRGE for $20 or $30, broken Saturn, and they want to play some games on it, that's, they're not going to touch that stuff, so I would say that it's really great. It's a really great like gateway ODE to get into the Saturn, and if folks get really, really hooked and then they want to do more, they'll find themselves getting a Fenrir or I don't know, something else in order to be able to, get deeper with the console. But yeah, so I think that's the one thing that I really like about the Saroo is that it just, it's the most inexpensive, but also the bang for buck is really, really good, so.
Exactly. I like I said, it really all just depends on what you really want out of your Saturn, and yeah, I can't argue it. Like, I don't think there's really a bad option for it. Like, there's like a bad option for the Saturn right now.
Yeah, they're all pretty good, actually. They're all pretty good. It really, I think at this point, it's just not a whole lot of people are gonna probably be picking up a Phoebe or Rhea. There just doesn't seem a whole lot of point, because considering how hard they are to pick up, but it was a place in time, and folks were rocking ODEs on their Saturn back in 2016, 2017, then they had fun with that.
Exactly. Now it's cheaper to pick up a Saroo than a stack of CDRs to burn games onto.
Yeah, Double Dime says it needs an Ethernet port. I wholeheartedly agree with that. The Saroo board, which does have a USB header on it, and if that was populated, with a USB connector, I imagine that it's possible. Like theoretically, it would just take the elbow grease, coding and figuring out how to make it happen. But I can't imagine it wouldn't be possible to route data and go, from like Ethernet to USB or whatever, and be able to get that working. But that'd be a whole other thing. And then any kind of games, online games, the patch for it would have to be kind of like recoded for that. But theoretically it's there. I've even talked to the creator, like the person on X or whatever, who was doing like all the mods with it and stuff like that. They were saying yes, it is possible. It's just like not something that we've gotten to yet, because it's like at this point all they've been focusing on is like commercial compatibility.
Yeah, well, hopefully they get that all sorted, and the future is bright for the Saroo. It's early days, so we might be seeing a whole firmware updates that make it the best device. And it's like, the satiator's not the satiator's not needed unless you want. I mean, even like the satiator might not be needed at one point, which would be sick.
It's funny. It's like my brother-in-law got into Saturn like right before the Saroo hit, and I had him get. I was actually really surprised. He went all in and sprung for a satiator. Even I was like, wow, you didn't really have to do that. There are cheaper options, like the Fenrir was only $100 or whatever. But he was like, yeah, well, I mean, you talked about it, you said good things about it, so I went ahead and got a satiator, and I filled that thing up for him. I filled up that SD card for him, and then the Saroo hit, and I was like, oh god, that probably, because that's all he wants to do is just play commercial games, but
I mean, he probably will have that urge to play the fan translation eventually. So
true, yeah,
everyone does.
True.
So like, I think that it's a worthy investment, even if you bought it before the Saroo came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly don't think you'd be disappointed with it. Even like the Rhea, I'd still highly recommend, just because of its compatibility is insane. The only caveat is that you have to do weird formatting on it, but I mean, like I said, that's why I rank it a little bit lower.
Anyway, check out James. Check out his video. It's great. Did a great job with it. He's bounced back from the new baby and has been really prolific lately. So kudos and shouts. Check out his article and check out the video. And Dan's also been posting some cool videos too. So as always, we like to plug our SHIRO Bros, the Sega guys. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's about it for the show. Let me just go get the.
Is that it for news?
Yep, that's it for news.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I think.
Do you want me to? I could read off the sponsors right now.
Oh yeah, the patrons. Yeah, you do that.
Patrons, yeah.
Patreon.
Shouts to A Murder of Crows, Cerulean, Chris Piper, Chris 1997 XX, Daniel Fredrickson, David Zaney, Derek Pascarella, A-Team, Emerald Nova, Eva 42, Fat Drunk Friend Otaku, Gem Clasher Rank, Jay Hersey, Johannes Fetz, Lion Wing Publishing, Momfus, Normal Guy, Nutrageous, Robert Ramsey, Rowan Dinked, Sega Steve, Stone Man, The Sega Guys, and Young Money Sweet. All you guys are supporters at the $10 and up level. And we really, really appreciate you helping us do what we do, and we've we love being able to shout you on the cast, and of course all of our patron supporters will be included in the credits at the end of the show.
I fixed that up, by the way. I finally updated that because I've been dumb, so sorry about that, guys. Names are all updated, everyone's updated, so sorry.
I figured out with OBS it kept cutting off the credits, it kept cutting off the names. I think it was because I had the font too big. I figured out that if I just like lowered the size of the font and then like use the stretch tool to like make it bigger, that worked. And yeah, so technical difficulties,
all the good stuff. But yeah, we can all, if you somebody mentioned, are we gonna have a SHIRO show after Thanksgiving? We are indeed. I'm gonna do a Black Friday stream. As always, I will go through.
That's a tradition now.
Yeah, it is a Black Friday stream.
1, 2, 3, 4. You've done 4 of them, so 3 of them so far. So this will be your 4th.
It's gonna be fun. I am gonna go through all the Black Friday sales I could find. We'll go through some good sales. We'll see what we can get from everybody. See if anybody picks some stuff up. We'll just have a chit chat
in like your pajamas or something. You're always.
I'll do it in my. That's a good idea. I'll do it in my bear suit.
With your Santa hat or whatever.
Do I do? I think do I do Santa hat? I can't remember if Black Friday I wear it or not.
I don't know.
I'll
I
wear
have
it
to go
anyways.
back
Fuck.
and look.
I'll wear it. My girlfriend's happy
I
for
should
that.
mention, since you do have the magazine up there on the screen,
yay.
we do have, and I'm staring at them right now, about 40. No, actually, it's less than that. Probably about 30 copies, hard copies of the magazine left. There won't be any more after that. So, nope.
But yeah,
we got something else coming. We got something else coming.
We do actually. There's more updates. Like we got something big coming. So we're gonna talk about that, and we'll get that. But oh yeah, that's right. Dave, remind me to send one to Momphis. I need to send one. Momphis, send me your address. I forgot.
Did we never send one to Momphis? I thought he bought
we sent one, but I gave it away to the Sega executives. So we need to send a new one.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. I'll send one to Momphis. Yeah, just remind me, okay? Because I'll usually do it when I'll do it on Monday when I get into the office.
No, Momphis, we're sending that to you free of cost because you did us a solid. So
yeah. Momphis, you've been like literally a top tier patron supporter from day one. We're gonna charge you for this magazine. Sure.
Yeah,
Dave already paid for it.
Momphis, send your address to Dave. We'll get that shipped out, and we'll be solid.
Yeah, for
Don't
sure.
even think about it. My friend.
Night. Rest well, okay, and get better. Hope you feel better this weekend. Kind of sucks to get sick right before the weekend, But just stay in and watch some anime or whatever with Pudgy Bunny and try to have fun. Drink lots of liquids.
Yes, but yeah, you also get Thank you very much. Hopefully you guys feel better. Hoping both of y'all feel good. Feel good soon. See you on the show again. And also, if you guys want to share it as well, that's just a side note. You get shirts as well from our stores on a little tab, and join our community and join us and talk to us on Discord or Twitter or Blue Sky. Actually, I've been posting more on Blue Sky, so.
Oh yeah, we need to do that. Now there's a huge migration. Well, so Blue Sky opened up a bit more, right? Now they're not. Now people can just join, right?
Yeah.
You don't need So it's like my phone's blowing up with like, oh, so many people are following you on Blue Sky, right? Because they opened up the floodgates, and there's like obviously a mass exodus from X. From X. So yeah, there are a lot of folks moving over to Blue Sky. And so, yeah, we probably do need to make sure to be posting on there. It's hard to remember, though, with all the different platforms. You try to get Facebook. You ever watch The Office? They had the thing called, like a woof? Or what was it? Like Ryan had this company. He was like an entrepreneur, and he had this idea for a company where if you sent a woof, it would go to fax, text message, Twitter, Facebook. That's what I want. I want like a real thing where you can just do one post and it just like pushes it out to everything.
Woof. Oh yeah, Dan.
Yeah, woof.
Dan Ken's knows. But James, follow me. Send me your Blue Sky. I don't have it. I can't find you on my list, so I was trying to add you on here. So I have Dan on here. I didn't have you yet, so just DM me your thing and I'll add you. I couldn't find it on Blue Sky. Whoop. Blue skies. I see.
don't even remember if that was it, but yeah, it was funny.
But yeah, anyways, I think that's about it. So I want to thank you guys for watching.
And of course, thanks everyone for watching. It was nice getting to be on the show as a guest host.
You get the guest. So let me fix the name tag, Dave. We need to.
We need a guest host again.
Actually, I'm trying to find it. Where's it? Here it is. Yeah.
These days it's hard for me to. These days it's really hard for me to make it on every week, and who knows, I might be more of a guest host than like a regular host, because I know Dan's kind of, you and Dan, you do a good job, and then every once in a while you get the Sega guys on as well, so it helps me being, full disclosure, it kind of helps me to be able to have some breaks. Then I don't feel as stressed, because for me, what you guys don't see is like I'm rushing home at 1:50, going to my daughter's school and trying to pick her up, and then run her home as quick as I can and get her set up with TV and snacks, and get out here to like set up the show. And then if we have technical difficulties, it's and then once we're done, then I got to go in there and make pizza and stuff. And so it's like it's just the end of my week. Sometimes it's a little stressful. It's not it's not the environment that we created this show in. We created this show in the pandemic when nothing was happening. Everybody was at home, and there was nothing going on. So it's nice. It has been good, actually. It's been good for me, for my emotional well-being, I guess, to my mental health. Yeah, to be able to take a break but I miss you, buddy. And
I miss you too. I love you, man. And I'm glad. I'm glad we could have the retro both of us on the couch again. I think a lot of people were happy about that too. But of course, I like Dan there too.
Yeah, this couch is a lot more comfy than the black couch. That thing is like hard. Just kidding.
But yeah, no, I'm really happy with I'm really happy with both this and our new dynamic as well. I like that we can, like you said, that we can switch out and stuff and do different show configs. So I'm really happy. So I'm happy that we got that all sorted, and everyone seems to be liking the show. We got like 60 viewers on the reg, so I'm really happy about that. So gotta shout you fans out too.
Also, shouts to Sega Extreme and Emerald and the upcoming game competition. I'm really excited because, as it usually goes down, like a bunch of stuff gets posted late and takes me by surprise, and then we have a bunch of cool stuff to test out and play. Like last year with what was it? Jay Beretta's horror game. The
Cold Case.
Cold Case. Yeah, it came out of left field. I was not expecting, and then I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. So it's going to be fun to see what folks come up with. I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's November, so I mean, and I believe Emerald's extending it a bit into January.
Yeah, it's gonna be like February. I'm excited. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to. The thing that sucks though is that because of the way the show is, I have to run to training afterwards. I can't do the live stream anymore, so it maybe we'll try to find it.
Well, maybe the Sega guys can do the live stream. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But what's really cool is I know Haas Machine or whatever. I know he's working on stuff, behind closed curtains, and I know that Emerald is working on Seni Ryu, and folks are working on stuff. We're just not, I haven't been, peeking into the Sega Extreme to see what it all is. So I know some of it's gonna take me by surprise, but I'm looking forward to it because it's like part of Christmas now. It's like every Christmas I get some new Saturn homebrew.
Exactly.
That's fun. Anyway, so shouts to those guys too. And should we sign off then?
Yeah, probably. I have to go. I think
Saturn Dave
and Trinoko. Reminding you to play Sega.
You must play Sega Saturn, or Pat will come to your house and break your legs.
Double.